So, so in this way, she's saying basically that let the problems come again and again. So we'll see you and we will hear from you. We'll always will be in your association and we'll be safe. Because by seeing you, by having your darshana, there is no more births and deaths. So whatever problems having in this life, they're nothing, because in once we leave this body, we will not have any other birth again. We will be with you in spiritual world. So that is really a courageous thing. So this is the bhava of Mother Kunti, that she's expressing, let everything come so that we can have an association. So here Prabhupada in the purport is explaining that usually, as a devotees, how a person will take up the devotional services. There are 4 kinds of people who take up bhakti. So this is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. One who is in distress, one who is having a lot of problems, and one who is needy. He needs something like wealth or knowledge, and one who is intelligent, and one who is inquisitive. So these 4 kinds of people approach Krishna, or they inquire. They approach Krishna. They want to know about Krishna because they want something in return. What is that? Because distress, they want to be free of distress. Needy, they want to fulfill their needs. And intelligent is one who questions, is something beyond anything else is there. And inquisitive is just curious about Krishna, the personality of Krishna, just want to know about him. So these 4 kinds of people are pious. Who are pious, they take up devotional service. So what happens is they are still in material world, but because of their piety, they take up bhakti and they approach a pure devotee and they hear from them. And then they start bhakti, of Krishna bhakti, they start. And once they start, they will actually they will actually become closer and closer to Krishna. In that way, they will have darshan of Krishna eventually at the end of their, once they finish their sadhana, they'll have darshan of Krishna and they'll have no more birth and death. So such people who take up bhakti, when there's a material problems, they even strongly become attached to Krishna because they don't have anywhere else to go. They depend on Krishna. They take shelter of Krishna. So what happens is the problems actually nourish their bhakti in a way that they become very close to Krishna. And such devotees who become very much attached to Krishna, even when there are problems, or good or bad times, so for them the liberation is guaranteed. Like, so such devotees, when they leave their body, they will attain the spiritual world, the abode of Lord Krishna. Because only devotee can get attached to Krishna in the times of difficulty. So even that, the difficulties are kind of a blessings for a devotee because they become attached to Krishna. That is also nourish their bhakti. Whereas who are not devotees, who are not pious, they think that these problems are permanent and they try to fix it. And they always fail and they suffer. Miserably they suffer. Because Krishna has declared that this world is dukkhalayam asashvitam, is full of miseries and it is temporary. But who are not devoted to Krishna, they think that these miseries are, we can solve these miseries, and this is like, and we can have permanent fix for it, and we can live happily ever after. They think like that. But the problem is with this world, it is never going to happen. Everything is temporary. It's full of miseries. You cannot escape it. How much ever you make things comfortable, there is old age is there. There's a disease is there. So we can have all kinds of comforts in this world, but still when the disease and old age comes, nothing is going to help. So these miseries we cannot overcome. But whereas devotees, even in this kind of miserable condition, they take shelter of Krishna and become more and more attached to Krishna. and they'll become out of bodily conscious. And when time comes, they attain Golok Vrindavan. So for devotee, the material problems is more or less like a dream, bad dream. But for a non-devotee, it feels so real that they completely become entangled in it. So in one sense, you can say for a devotee, it's all temporary and we will move on with it. And whereas a non-devotee will try to fix things, and if he fails miserably because he has not taken shelter of Krishna. So here, Queen Kunti is praying for the calamities, but our acharyas are saying, or I heard in many lectures, Prabhupada and other gurus are saying that we should not pray like that, that let the calamities come so that we can see you again and again, because we already have enough calamities in our lives. So the best thing we can do is we can see Krishna through his holy name. We can see Krishna by hearing Bhagavatam. So we do every day by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and reading Bhagavatam. Then we associate with Krishna. So chanting Harinam and reading Bhagavatam is nothing but associating with Krishna. And when you associate constantly with Krishna, then we will no longer see repeated births and deaths. It's the same thing. So here Queen Kunti is personally seeing Krishna helping them, saving them, Pandavas and her. And in our case, if we take shelter of Bhagavatam, it's not different from Krishna. If we take shelter of holy name, which is not different from Krishna, then we will no longer see repeated births and deaths. So it's the same thing. It's just her feelings she's expressing to Krishna, that please Krishna, don't leave us, because she speaks when he's going to Dwarka. So she says, don't leave us, because by seeing you, we become so happy and all our distress is gone. So that is her feeling. That is her intense love for Krishna that she's expressing here. So that is a beauty of these words, that it expresses the feelings of Queen Kunti. So she is a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. That whatever may happen, we just want your association. It doesn't matter whether good or bad. We just want your association, because just by having your association, everything is auspicious. So that is a summary of these words. Any other points we can discuss in this regard? Anybody wants to add something regarding what they think about these words, or what Prabhupada said in the purport? There's also words in Bhagavatam, Tattenukampam. There's a famous words where it says that a person who just tolerates his bad reaction of his bad karma and keeps on doing devotional service is surely eligible to enter into the kingdom of the God. And also on other hand, it's not one way. On other hand, Krishna is also very merciful, that when we stick to bhakti, when we become attached to his lotus feet, Krishna also reciprocates. So whatever problems we may have, actually Krishna personally oversees it. He makes sure that we don't fail. A devotee doesn't fail. A devotee doesn't perish because of this burden of the miseries of this material world. uh, a person may perish. So, but Krishna makes sure that a devotee never perishes, and whatever is lacking, Krishna will provide at the right time, and whatever devotee has, he will preserve that. So Krishna is always overseeing, and the problems that devotees face is just for their upliftment, and also to remove any obstacles in the path of bhakti. So it's a for a devotee, it's a personal guidance, personal supervision is there. So a devotee never doesn't need to worry about anything, whether it's heat or cold, or loss or gain. we don't need to worry about anything. So so that blessings we have, that Krishna personally takes care of a devotee. But one who is not devoted to Krishna, the condition is very precarious for them, because they depend on the laws of nature, and they are like in the ocean of material existence. They are being beaten up by the waves of the ocean, like ups and downs, and they become completely confused, and they try to fix things, and the whole life they spend like that, and eventually they don't make use of their human form of life, and they fail. Again, they have to take birth, depending on their karmas. Either they go to the lower planetary systems or lower species, or they go to higher planetary system, or in higher intelligent species. So for devotee, yeah, Krishna is personally guiding us. That faith should be there. He is guiding us in the form of Guru, Jagat Guru. So yeah, devotees are in safe hands. That's why we need to help share these things with others, so that everyone becomes devoted to God. And whatever problems they may have, or whatever pleasures they may have, at all points they always think of Krishna and never forget Krishna. Yeah. So yeah, this is a summary. Anybody have any questions or comments or reflections?
Prabhuji, I have one question.
Yeah,
So, even if we are totally dependent, we are thinking we are totally dependent on Krishna, but still the problem comes. But we face the problem, but how? Like we are like, okay, we are dependent on Krishna, but still we have in our mind that no, we have to do work on it. We have to work on it. So how to, like, even if we are giving Sharanagati, we are totally, hope you understand the question. We are
mm.
totally dependent on Krishna, but still the problems come, and we think that no, we have to work on it. We have we are believing on Krishna, but still we are on the other hand, we are thinking that we have to work on how to overcome with that.
Yeah. So in that, so when we have some problem, so what we do is, uh, we first of all, we don't get disturbed by that. First thing we have to do is we won't get disturbed. Second thing is, this we have to think that this is an arrangement of Krishna, that I need to learn something. So that is second thing. And third point we can do is, what can I do about it? Like anything I can do now. So we have to act on it to mitigate it. Okay, that is third thing. Fourth thing is, things which are not under your control, you leave it to Krishna, and Krishna will handle. And and the fifth point is, if it doesn't turn out to be in what you expect, it doesn't matter, because you accept it, that that's what Krishna wants. You
Mhm.
did your best, and you put your faith in Krishna. And what lesson I can learn from this? And if it doesn't turn out positively, that's fine, because I still learned my lesson, and I get purified, and maybe this is something good for me, which I cannot see right now. But Krishna is my supreme father. He is my maintainer. He knows the big picture, that uh, he will, in hindsight we can know that, okay, whatever happened was, in a way, it was good. Okay, that's fine. So those kinds of, we have to be in that mindset. So that, I'm talking about general problems. I'm not talking about the pain of suffering of, you know of anyone who, family or loved ones who leave their body, or may miss them. Not that kind of pain. I'm talking about general problems in day to day.
Mhm.
uh, because they're not the problems, actually, because they are the realities of the life. The problem is, like, say you're in distress,
Mhm.
you know or you need something, or those kind of things you have to see, what can I do about them? Can I do something about them? And you have to put your effort, because Krishna has given us intelligence, and intelligence is next to Paramatma. So we have to use our intelligence, means we have to take shelter of Paramatma, because we are still in the jurisdiction of Paramatma. As long as we are in this material world, we are in the jurisdiction of Paramatma. So who eventually at the stage of Ruchi, Nishta Ruchi, after that Krishna takes over completely. So if you are not in that stage, we still need to take care of Krishna in the form of Paramatma. And we have to depend on our intelligence and do our best. And rest, you can leave it to Krishna. Positive or negative, doesn't matter, If it comes out negatively, that's what is in my destiny. I did my best, but that's what happened. If it comes out positively, that's fine too, it's a blessing of Krishna. So try to be neutral.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it takes practice, mother. It's not like it's not a one day thing. It takes practice.
But it was nicely said, Adidev Prabhu. As you were talking, I was just reflecting. And nice question too, Rama Mataji. How to practically apply. This is Sharanagati, practical application. In the first step is by not getting disturbed, knowing that this material world problems come. Second thing is understand that as arrangement of Krishna. So at the onset of problem itself, we are with Krishna in the form of understanding that this is, material energy, and then not getting disturbed. So just by doing these two things itself, we are practicing bhakti and sharanagati in the initial stages. And then as we tackle the problem, as Prabhu was saying, we do our best, whatever is practically possible. And then we leave the rest to Krishna if it is not in our hands. So that is also part of, practical way of taking Sharanagati. We do our best, but we don't complain, we don't do resentment. We leave the rest to Krishna. And after the problem, after we do our part, then at the end, whatever result that might come, if we are accepting it as Krishna's arrangement, and even if it is solved or not, then because we are accepting that as Krishna's arrangement, we are still with Krishna. So like that, by practicing bhakti, at the onset of the problem, we are with Krishna. During solving the problem, we are with Krishna. And after the problem is gone also, we are with Krishna. So that way, throughout the process, we are getting closer to Krishna and understanding of, bhakti, that this material world will be, problems will be there, but we look at it as arrangement of Krishna. So throughout the process, we are with Krishna. If we are not in bhakti, what would we do generally? When the problem comes, it's possible that we might react. It's possible that we might complain. And if somebody is not practicing devotion, they may not even think of Krishna. So the capability of dealing with the problem is also better when we are practicing bhakti, because we are not disturbed and we are looking at it as Krishna's arrangement. If we are not practicing bhakti, then the capability of dealing the problem, it may not be so good also, because we are disturbed, we are resentment is there, and then struggle to solve it, and then upset if it's not solved. So a lot of ups and downs that we go through if we don't practice bhakti and look at it as Krishna's arrangement. So that's my reflection, Prabhu. Nice question, nice answer.
Yeah, thank you, Mati. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'll just give you an example, a real life example. Like my relative, he's a devotee of Krishna, and he finished his studies, and he even did MBA in Hyderabad. Then he was struggling to get a job actually. So he was devotee for a long time, even before in his college days, and he was preaching, he was distributing books and everything. But he had struggled a lot to get a job, and he was always kind of a lot of pressure from his family as well. because they are not that much well-to-do. So he was many times was discouraged. At the same time, he was like doing his best, and he was thinking, I was also thinking, why so much problem he's facing. So eventually now he is in very good position. He's a leader. He's actually a sarpanch of a village, and he even got national award for the best sarpanch now. And he's preaching during Kartik time. He preaches 50 villages. He goes. They have this Damodar, Yashoda Damodar take on the big kind of a truck, and they take prasadam and they go to almost 50 villages, and they do Damodarashtakam, and they offer the lamp, and he gives class in the evening time. He stands on the truck holding the mic, and like thousands of people are hearing what he's preaching. And so when I see, in a hindsight, the problems he was facing, Krishna was preparing him for something. He's making him very strong to put him in a position where he can actually encourage, not only better his life, but also encourage others take up bhakti. So I have seen his problems for his entire life, but now when I see in hindsight, Krishna was preparing him for something better actually. And now he's a leader there, and everybody respects him. He has everything, but he is very humble devotee. So yeah, things happen. We have to take it as a challenge. And Krishna will never, leave the devotee. He always prepares them for something bigger. So that faith we should always have. And there are many other examples, but this one I have seen it very closely. This example of my relative who is a devotee. So yeah, thank you, Mataji, and good question, and thank you for adding your
Rama
comments.
Mataji, does that help, Rama Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Thank
Did you,
Prabhuji, for such a wonderful example?
did you see that the whole process that we are doing from the beginning, understanding that the problem is part of this material world, this is all part of, we are taking the shelter of the knowledge of bhakti, and we are not getting disturbed. So this is also practical way of taking Sharanagati, when we're taking the knowledge, shelter of bhakti, and then acting accordingly, solving things accordingly, understanding things accordingly, is all part of it.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, Adidev Prabhu.
Okay, Mataji. Yes. Has any questions or comments? Then we can stop here.
I liked the first part. You don't get disturbed when the problems come. The first part. And second thing is, understand that as arrangement of Krishna.
Yeah,
So,
once we understand these 2 points, then the rest of the things are, then we are actually in a liberated state actually from there on.
Right. 50% problem solved there.
Yeah, because whatever happens, something good is going to happen, eventually. In hindsight, we see. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you to you all. Yeah.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha Kripa Sindhubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.